So the question on whether anything at this time can save Halo Infinite is one that's very controversial in the community, and one that a lot of people seem to think that no, nothing can save this game. I for one believe this game can be saved, but they drastically need to change the way that they're doing things. And one of the main ways I think that they can go about saving this game is adding in a specific PvE mode. Now, a lot of people that aren't fans of PvE are probably looking at me like, what are you talking about? But just hear me out here. This will change the game for Halo Infinite if they add this mode or a mode similar to this, and it will tie directly in with the live service of this game, and it will just make you want to play it through it a bit more. It'll make you want to grind for armor. It'll make you want to go out of your way to jump on weekly to play the new story element or do some new character quests or whatever it might be. This will be the mode that saves Halo. Whether it will happen or not is a completely different question, but I wanted to discuss it in this video. With the new leadership taking over now with Halo Infinite, this is a very good time for change, and one of the big things that I think need to be changed is that horrendous live service story, which doesn't grab anyone by the scruff of the neck and get them invested in that story. It's just really forgettable in my opinion. So without further ado, let's jump straight into it and explain my little idea to you. Also, new camera. I hope it looks good. This is my first time using it, so I want to hope that it's good and doesn't mess up after. If not, then yeah, you won't see this video. But anyway, going straight onto this new PvE mode. Halo Infinite's campaign was controversial and pretty mid when it came to the open world exploration. However, the potential for the map itself is there. For a map the size of Zeta Halo, and the only way for you to really explore is for you and your teammates to stay in a pretty close proximity to one another. I believe the max is around 800 meters, which in the grand scheme of things isn't really a lot. I just think they're missing out on a huge opportunity here to expand on Zeta Halo and just reuse the map for new content. Zeta Halo could be around for 2-3 years and just have loads of different stories within that map. Why waste all of that open space and just seclude it to a campaign mode, which again you can only play with 3 other friends and not really be able to explore it to the fullest of your potential? Why not use it as a spin-off story PvE mode as well, which carries on the live service story? Everybody loves a good spin-off. ODST and Reach were really fun, Reach being one of my favourite Halo games ever created, and they were just really interesting games to play and learn about the lore of them as well, rather than just always being that super soldier Master Chief. You then take a step back, and from the ODST's perspective and also from a Spartan's perspective, which was before the Chief and Cortana, but this PvE mode would execute the storytelling for the live service like 1,000 times better than what we currently have right now. As of now, the current model is your multiplayer Spartan being the go-to, right? You're meant to be a part of the story, and this is the same with the likes of Reach and things like that. Your Spartan is Noble 6, we always wear our own armor, and it is you playing the story and being a part of that team. Why not do this for Halo Infinite's multiplayer live service? This would make so much more sense than doing what we're doing right now. But you have things like playable missions, stories, quests, side quests, public events and things like that that you can just do on this mode, secluded to this mode, and this mode will be where the live service story continues, rather than being forced to level up a battle pass and play through a load of different game modes. And granted, you might not like the game modes and be forced to play it to progress through the season. It's just not a good way of doing things. At least with this method, you can sit back, chill out, enjoy the story, and you're not sweating out against people every game. You're playing against entities within the game. Way better. Not to mention with this as well, you can also add things like difficulties in, so the higher the difficulty, the better the reward, the better the match XP. There's so much you can do with this. What better way than creating a vision for you on what this mode will be like? Sit back, I'll try to replicate it as much as possible on screen so you can visually see what I'm talking about. But this mode gets me excited, and it's not even in the works. It's probably not even announced or even thought of within 343, but the idea of it really makes me excited. So anyway, let's get into it. A new game mode has been created by 343. The new leadership have decided to take the live service to the next level and have a dedicated PvE mode for this story. This new mode takes place within the 6-month period where the Master Chief was missing in action. Our multiplayer Spartan was aboard the UNSC Infinity during the Banished attack. The Chief leaves the UNSC Infinity, goes down to Zeta Halo to install the weapon into the ring's infrastructure. Us, and along with the other Spartans such as Griffin and the rest of his crew, are left to defend the captain and what remains of the UNSC Infinity and evacuate as many people as humanly possible. So we escort Lasky along with Griffin to his Pelican. Lasky then of course is evacuated, and we try to get as many people off the ship as possible. The team becomes overrun, and we ourselves take a drop pod down to the ring with the likes of Griffin and his team as well. We wake up dazed like in that Combat Evolved mission, walk out of the drop pod, and boom, we see our team, some injured, just some figuring out obviously what the next move and the next step is, but we're on this mysterious ring, no idea what's going to happen, no idea what's happening around us, and we're just here. Then out of nowhere, the UNSC Infinity comes flying into the atmosphere and crash lands somewhere on the other side of the ring. Our first objective for the live service story is to search the area for survivors and even other drop pods or pelicans which could have other survivors or crew members from the Infinity. We walk over a hill and we'd seen a group of the Banished captured a landed pelican full of ODSTs and civilians. This could be like our first in-game cinematic within like Halo 3, where you have those sort of live action cutscenes where you can rather skip them or you can watch them play out. This can be the same thing here, and it'd be such a cool touch to add that in. We can try and save as many of these civilians as we want to, and then just start to get things like radio towers back online to be able to try and communicate out to other people across the ring, and that can be a set of objectives to do across the ring, similar to the cannons that we did in the campaign. There were 3 that we had to go to and destroy. Radio towers, we can have 4 or 5 around the map that we can basically do whenever we want to, and once they're all done, then that's where we get the maximum amount of communication between all the survivors on the ring and things like that. So there's so many different things you can do in that aspect. Again, the same map, just different objectives. It's perfect. Now, this part of the story could take place over a month or so of the live service story, or it could be over a season. The first 3 months of this live service story could just be us getting our bearings on the ring, finding survivors, finding out what happened, where's the Infinity, where's Lasky. They're unknown at the moment, but trying to figure that out along the way. Towards the end of this first season, we could then come across the crash site of the Mortal Reverie. This could potentially be the start of the next season, or even the end of the current season, for example. And then this can be our campsite, our full-on base of operations. Within this campsite, this is where we then speak to the likes of Griffin, and we hear muttering and chatters between the ODSTs, the civilians. Where's the Chief? Where's Lasky? Where's the Infinity? What happened here? What happened there? Their stories, and even see little notes and laws bits around this campsite as well that just builds up the story and the atmosphere. The UNSC are not on top of this war. They have lost at the moment. They're really struggling. We should be able to see this all around this camp. Tell me right now how much better that sounds rather than what we have right now. What we have right now is essentially a brand new season will start. We'll then get a cutscene to introduce that season. We will then play through a battle pass, and then once we finish that battle pass, we will then get another cutscene, and then we have to wait until the next season. And in Season 2's case, we've had to wait 10 months for the next section of the story. Look, the live service right now is not good enough. We need something that's continuous, something that we can jump on, play, do objectives. Even if there's no story for 1 week, we've got a good set of challenges or objectives that have been assigned to us for that week that we can go on and complete to get XP, to get different armor bits, whatever it might be. Just make it fun and interactive. This is an amazing way to utilize Zeta Halo, but play it again in a way that's completely different to what we'd already experienced in the campaign. That means as well we can play alongside the Spartans that were slain in the campaign, see from their perspectives as well, be with them when they were slain, and potentially we were the ones that escaped. We wouldn't have any equipment or the grapple hook to start with, anything. It would just be completely bare bones, and potentially along the way we could start upgrading our gear and stuff like the other Spartans had, and they of course dropped for the Chief later on. But just a Spartan trying to gun down as many enemies as possible and save as many crew members, ODSTs, and just survivors as they possibly can. But the question is again, why would this bring a large amount of people back? Why would this save Halo? And why would it even bring new players to Halo Infinite? even after its disastrous launch. You got to remember that a lot of people only play Halo for the story and the campaign. A lot of people don't like PvP stories. That's why Destiny in the last couple of months, or even the last year, has become so successful and popular. People love a good PvE story, and with Destiny, every single week there is a new PvE element to the story. It gives people the reason to be excited for the following week, or even expecting what's to come, theorizing. It really does make a very healthy fan base to have a story that's continuous and ongoing, like Destiny. This mode, by the way, wouldn't just be secluded to yourself and your friends either. This would be a mode which allows up to like 50 to 100 players that can spawn in at a given session on Zeta Halo. They can go wherever they want, do whatever they want, different objectives, finding different people across the map, saving them, doing quests for them. This would be really, really good. Obviously, the slipspace engine here is a massive questionable factor. Is it capable of doing something like this? Well, none of us really know. We've heard a lot of things in the past with the slipspace engine that it isn't as what it was made out to be back in 2018, 2019, and that actually it's a pretty bang average engine that's got a lot of limitations. But if it could pull something like this off, I think it would benefit Halo massively. You've also got to remember that Destiny 2, I use this as an example all the time, but Destiny 2 is a game that came out in, what, 2017? That engine has been around for a very long time. That's also using a lot of elements from the Destiny 1 engine, which came out in, what, 2012? Something like that, maybe 13? Something along those lines. The engine's been heavily modified, and it's now at a point where it can support new content continuously being put into it. That is what Halo Infinite needs to do. There needs to be big investment in this engine if it cannot cope with what needs to happen for a live service game. Conveniently, of course, the person responsible for the engine's design is apparently rumoured to be leaving 343 as well. So take that as you will, but this game needs massive modifications done to it in the back end and the front end, and that story mode. 343 needs to be more creative, man. This multiplayer story is so fucking boring. I don't understand why they thought that creating an entirely new set of characters would be a good idea for the story, when the Halo universe is full of so many unique characters already, which some haven't been a part of Halo properly in so long. For one, I know Locke was a part of Halo 5 Guardians, but the character was written so poorly that nobody likes Locke. Nobody likes him. I, for one, think that if he was written differently, people would really like him. You've got another one, the Warden Eternal. No mention of anything along the lines of Prometheans or Reclaimers or whatever it might be within Halo Infinite. Nothing. Nothing about the created. The Arbiter's not been in within the mainline Halo game since Halo 5. Arguably, was it really the Arbiter properly in Halo 5? Could we say that it's not really been since Halo 3? You've also got the likes of Dr. Halsey that was a part of the Infinity. Where the hell's Halsey? Halsey could be a part of a mission that we have to go and save Halsey and bring her back to the camp, and then from there, look, this is just theoretical stories right here, but be creative, 343. Use the characters in the universe that we're already invested in. It's not going to do us any good, or you guys any good, creating characters that nobody has any emotions for. We need to bring characters into this live service story that you can look at and people be like, shit, the Arbiter's coming into the story. This is going to get good. People are going to come back and want to play it, find out why the Arbiter's there. These are the things 343 need to do and think about when creating this story. Because we don't care about Eklund. We don't care about Dim. I don't care about Agrena, because we've not been given a reason to care about them. But that's all for today, guys. I just wanted to bring this up and put this into a video because I've spoke about this idea previously in other videos, and people really, really like the idea of having this PvE mode or one like this within Halo Infinite. I think it's absolutely needed to have something like this in Halo. And look, they don't really need to do a lot of work with this, really. Of course, they need to script the quests and the different missions and audio and bring the voice actors back in and whatever it might be, but the bulk of the work is already done. Zeta Halo is finished. They can always expand on it in the future and through the actual campaign and then add that to the live service after, but guys, the bulk of the work is done. Halo Infinite Zeta Halo is perfect for this type of thing. The map is huge. You can fit easily 100 people on this map and you probably won't even encounter the other people. So I don't know why 343 tried to take this into account. Maybe they are just keeping Zeta Halo secluded for campaign and in the next 4 years we'll have another campaign element on Zeta Halo, which, yeah, I don't know. But let me know your thoughts and opinions down below, everyone. I hope that we get something soon. Microsoft are actually talking at, I believe, some form of gaming conference on Saturday. I don't want to get anyone's hopes or inject hopium into everyone's veins, but potentially something Halo could be there. We'll have to wait and see. But yeah, reuse Zeta Halo 343. Give us more lore and story, and I guarantee you the player base will build back up. It's a given. But anyway, guys, leave a rating if you have enjoyed. I hope the camera's okay. Let me know your thoughts and opinions on the camera. Yeah. Subscribe if you guys are brand new. Modern Warfare 2 coming out as well tomorrow in terms of the beta. So join my Discord server if you guys want to be in for a chance to win a couple of beta codes. I'll be giving away a few later on after this video has gone live, or even in the morning of the beta tomorrow. So yeah, join up and yeah, enjoy the rest of your day, everyone. We'll see you all in the next one.